It was a huge bummer when it was revealed initially that iOS 17 would only provide a handful of new features. Now, to the satisfaction of iPhone users, Apple will release iOS 17 with a number of the most requested features.
That's what I'm talking about.
If so, will iOS 17 finally provide us the chance to record phone calls? Let's find out as we discuss some features to expect. Third-party App Store. Apple has a history of rigorously regulating what can and cannot be sold on the App Store. When it comes to software that isn't obtained through the App Store, Apple employs a system called Gatekeeper to ensure the safety of Mac users. This system requires apps to be signed by their developers to install on your Mac without your intervention. But this means that Apple engages in monopolistic gatekeeping in the digital platform economy, which is highly unjust. Now, thanks to the EU, Apple will allow third-party app stores. Taking this step will prevent Apple from receiving any income from app shops operated by other parties.
No more money.
Apparently, the corporation takes 30% of every App Store sale as a fee. While the App Store and side-loading may be the most obvious targets for Apple's detractors, the company must also comply with a number of other rules of the Digital Markets Act. For instance, Apple will need to adjust so that its in-app payments mechanism can work with other payment systems. McCruevers adds that the side-loading changes will be limited to customers in the European Union. But as other countries pass legislation similar to the Digital Markets Act in Europe, Apple could expand the functionality. We can only speculate as to how a firm like Apple, which places a high priority on security, would fare in all of this to maintain its image. If you have any thoughts on this, share them with us in the comments section below. By the way, Apple will also have to make its services and capabilities more accessible to other parties, such as enabling third-party app integration with iMessage or switching to a different digital assistant besides Siri as the default.
What's next, Siri?
Despite this, Siri will get an upgrade in the next version of iOS later this year. Keep watching to find that out. Better Siri. Siri is improving and has had some good upgrades in iOS 15 and iOS 16. It now has offline processing, which both reduces wait times and increases privacy. It's also improved in its ability to recognize and respond to what's happening on screen. But Siri isn't improving quickly enough. Every day, without fail, I ask Google Assistant a question, receive a satisfactory response, and then, out of morbid curiosity, try the same question with Apple's Siri, who always comes up short. Apple is now working on removing the "hey" from Siri's usual listen phrase so that it will begin responding to just Siri, the way we say Alexa to Amazon's Alexa.
Do you hear? Ain't that right, Alexa?
It's possible that Apple will significantly improve Siri in order to compete with rival artificial intelligence, AI, products from businesses like Google and Microsoft. So we can expect Siri to give well-detailed answers or satisfactory answers to our questions most of the time. If Apple follows through, it will be able to compete effectively with other speech assistants. Also, there is one feature that Android offers that makes usability and multitasking simpler, and the iOS 17 will now have it as well. More on this next. Also, do not forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest tech content. Improved multitasking. On the iPhone 14 Pros, iOS can multitask with Dynamic Island, while on other iPhones, multitasking is limited to picture-in-picture mode. But that is not enough. We need the split screen feature. Split screen multitasking is a standard feature on Android phones, but is absent in iOS. While Android users multitask between work and play on the device, iOS users cannot.
I feel left out.
Many common activities benefit from this capability, such as reading a post while taking notes, editing images while browsing Twitter, speaking on a messaging app while viewing a movie or playing a game, etc. Moreover, it allows you to activate numerous pinned applications at once. Multitasking will be vastly improved by including a sidebar that is essentially a watered-down version of macOS's dock. Another thing Android has that iOS doesn't is in the works and will be added to iOS 17 when it comes out. Now you can have 2 Instagram apps on your iPhone. Let us discuss this now. Dual apps. Several apps enable users to utilize and switch between numerous accounts inside the same app, but Apple does not allow this. Android allows its users to run two separate instances of an app, but iOS does not.
No fair!
With the current iOS, you cannot simultaneously access two accounts on social media and microblogging platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and more on a single mobile device. With the use of app cloning on your iPhone, you can duplicate popular apps like WhatsApp and use them with several accounts. This functionality, which would streamline the process of maintaining several Apple IDs, is thought to debut in iOS 17. With this capability, you can install two copies of an app on their mobile device, each with its data and preferences. People who prefer to keep their professional and personal lives distinct on messaging applications, for example, might benefit from this feature. Parents who wish to let their children use applications without allowing them access to their data may find dual apps handy. There is one more thing that is coming to iOS 17, which has been asked for a lot. We save the best for the last, and that will thrill you, so stay tuned. Call recording. For years, iPhone users have asked for the ability to record calls directly on their devices. Third-party apps and services allow iPhone users to record phone conversations. But Apple's operating system does not allow its users to record calls for later review or reference.
This is sus.
Once this feature is introduced, you may now review chats you have with loved ones. When this functionality makes it to the next level iPhone, it might be paired with a live transcription capability to more effectively compete with Google's Record app for Pixel phones. A lot of you might be curious about what else the iOS 17 update will offer in addition to this. Check out the following video for further details, as there is certainly more in store for you.